Inside the glowing chamber of the Zelnari Council, shock ripples through the assembled elders as an unexpected human warship breaches their defenses in brutal defiance. Alien confusion and dread collide with the silent, cold precision of humanity's. Commander, the first move is made, the balance of power begins to shift, and a chilling promise sets the galaxy on edge. The chamber pulsed with a dull, blue light, a vast elliptical room carved from crystalline stone, suspended in the orbit of Lume 5. The Zelnari Council sat in a semicircle of translucent thrones, their multifaceted eyes reflecting the holographic display flickering above. They watched the recorded footage once more, disbelief twisting their angular jaws. The human vessel appeared on the outer edge of Zelnari space, a dark, bulky warship, unlike anything their scans had predicted. It moved with deliberate purpose, defying protocol, its engines silent save for a faint eerie hum, no communication, no warning. The footage cut suddenly to the human ship's weapons, deploying a shimmering EMP field that snuffed out the defensive drones the Zelnari had hurriedly dispatched. Systems blinked and died. Satellites fell silent. The humans didn't send emissaries or greetings. They attacked with a cold fury that no one had seen from the so-called primitive species before. Councillor Vex clenched his many-jointed fingers. They violate the Accord. They breach the Void Treaty. Why have they forsaken reason? Perhaps they never cared, hissed Councillor Jathar. They are chaos made flesh. Our instruments record no fear, only calculated destruction. This is not diplomacy, it is annihilation. A younger councillor's voice trembled. Our fleets are compromised. They crippled the orbital defenses in moments. What weapon can silence? Our sensors so completely. On the display, the human commander's face appeared, pale, stern, eyes sharp as flint. The comms channel cut out after a single phrase, repeated in cold, gravelly English. Contact was denied. We are making contact now. Vex's eyes widened, the room falling into a suffocating silence. Meanwhile, orbiting Earth in the sterile confines of the warship USS Resolute, Commander Elise Ryland stood alone on the bridge, watching the ghostly blue planet below. The soft hum of the fusion reactors was the only sound. Around her the crew waited, breaths held in tense anticipation. The last word she had spoken to her captain before taking command echoed in her mind. We do not negotiate from weakness. Her fingers hovered over the comm console as the countdown on the tactical display ticked silently. 2 minutes. No transmissions. No response. A whisper of static crackled in the comm channel. Ryland's voice was low, resolute. This ends now. For every time they denied us, we'll make them listen. We're not asking anymore. Her eyes flicked to the cloaking field status. Stable, invisible to all senses. The weapon systems were primed. The countdown hit 0, the warship decloaked with a sudden flare, breaking through the alien surveillance web like a blade through silk. A single message broadcast in cold clarity cut through the silence of space. First contact was denied, until we forced it. Back in the council chamber, a gasp echoed, translated into their resonant tongues. Vex's voice cracked. They have forced the impossible. What now becomes of us? A tremor ran through the crystalline pillars as the chamber's shields flickered under unseen assault. Outside, the warship's shadow loomed, a dark promise against the stars. The balance had shifted. The galaxy would never be the same. The aftermath of the USS Resolute's sudden appearance rippled through Zelnari space like a shockwave. The alien fleet, once confident in their supremacy, scrambled in stunned silence. Councillor Vex stared. At the main display, still glowing with the human ship's dark silhouette. Their cloak technology. It bends graviton waves, yes? Our sensors detected nothing until too late. Their advance is not random chaos. It is precise. The warship's cloaking system was a marvel of human engineering, nanotech arrays woven into the hull's lattice, shifting electromagnetic signatures to mimic cosmic background noise. The Xelnari had never seen such refinement, only crude stealth drones. Protocol demands immediate retaliation, demanded Councillor Jathar, voice sharp as broken crystal. Our fleets must destroy that abomination before it lands a single strike. But Varek hesitated, feeling a cold tendril of doubt. We have underestimated them badly. In the shadowed command deck of the Resolute, Commander Ryland watched the swarm of alien vessels closing in. Her communications officer, Lieutenant Maris, reported steady telemetry. Enemy fleets forming assault vectors, Commander. Their plasma. Arrays charge in seconds. Ryland's expression hardened. Deploy the nanowire mines. Set perimeter defense. They think they can overwhelm us with numbers. They don't know the price of underestimating a human's resolve. The mines were microscopic self-replicating machines, released in a silent cloud, designed to disable power conduits and weapon systems. Ryland's scientists had optimized their destructive capacity to exploit the alien tech's inherent vulnerabilities. Activate EMP countermeasures, she ordered. We won't lose our systems to their shock pulses. The warship shuddered as the first alien plasma blast screamed past, searing the void. Back on the Council's strategic bridge, panic began to set in. The aliens' advanced neural processors struggled to process the battlefield in real time. They were accustomed to overwhelming weaker foes with sheer firepower and coordination, but humans fought differently. You see it, don't you? Whispered a junior analyst. They don't fight to conquer. They fight to make us suffer. Every move is a message. Vrek's multifaceted eyes darted, catching glimpses of the nanowire clouds spreading like deadly webs. This is no mere battle. This is a reckoning, Jathar snarled. Then we must adapt or perish. Inside the human warship's war room, scientist Dr. Anaya Patel reviewed scans of the alien plasma technology. Their weapons rely on unstable ion chains. If we disrupt the magnetic fields around them, their blasts will collapse prematurely. Ryland nodded sharply. Prepare the gravitic pulse emitters. Let's see if their superior tech can handle a taste of human ingenuity. The crew moved with practiced precision. The warship's systems hummed louder, energy building beneath the reinforced hull. Outside, the battle erupted with violent intensity. Alien plasma blasts ripped into the dark void, met by blinding gravitational pulses that twisted the enemies, projectiles into sparks of failure. The Resolute weaved through the assault like a predator in a storm. Alien commanders barked orders, their confidence shattered by the human ship's unpredictable tactics. Vrek's voice cracked in the council chamber. They are evolving the fight before our eyes. Jathar spat a curse. It cannot end this way. They are but primitives. Our galaxy will not kneel. But even as she spoke, a new dread settled. Humanity was no longer to be ignored. The war had truly begun. The dark void outside the USS Resolute pulsed with violence. Alien plasma streams arced through space like deadly ribbons, but each was met with the human warship's gravitic pulses, shattering them mid-flight. The battle was no longer just a clash of fleets. It was a psychological duel, a test of wills. Commander, Elise Ryland stood on the bridge, eyes narrowed beneath the pale light. Lieutenant Maris, status report on shields and power reserves. Shields holding at 97%, Commander. Power flow stable, but the nanowire cloud is thinning. Enemy is adapting. Ryland's jaw tightened. They'll come. Order. Prepare the next phase. On the Xelnari flagship, a tangled mass of crystalline hulls and shimmering sails, Councillor Vrek paced with urgency. His many eyes reflected flickering star charts, his mind racing. They use electromagnetic disruption combined with nanotech to break our weapon chains, he muttered. We underestimated their ability to integrate biology and machine. The youngest counselor, trembling, asked, "Why do they fight like this? Not for territory, but for vengeance?" Vrek's voice was grim. "Because they remember betrayal. Their legends speak of a galaxy that turned its back on them, ignored their rise. Humanity never forgot the scars of denial." Back on the Resolute, the ship's AI flickered across hollow screens. Predictive algorithms spinning outcomes. Dr. Anaya Patel's voice cut through the tension. "Commander, sensors indicate their command vessels are focusing fire on our aft thrusters. If we lose maneuverability, we're sitting ducks." Ryland's eyes hardened. "Divert all auxiliary power to defensive grids. Prepare a counterstrike. We'll show them that a cornered human doesn't just survive, she strikes." Her fingers danced over the control panel. "Engage cloaking. We'll vanish and hit where it hurts." The warship's silhouette shimmered, vanishing from enemy sensors, just as a barrage tore through its last known position. The Zelnari erupted into chaos. "How do they vanish like ghosts?" Jathar's voice cracked with fury. "Our hunters become the hunted." Vrek's tone was quiet but resolute. "They fight shadows because they are shadows. Deathworlders. Survivors who thrive where others fall." Suddenly, the Resolute reappeared behind the enemy's flagship, silent, deadly. A pulse of electromagnetic energy surged, disabling the alien vessel's weapons and communications. The flagship's command bridge erupted in confusion. Vrek bellowed, "They have breached our defenses! Sound the retreat!" But before the order could echo through the fleet, Ryland's voice boomed through all frequencies. "This warship represents Earth. We will no longer be denied." A terrifying calm settled. "Prepare to surrender or be forgotten." A stunned silence fell over both fleets. The war had transformed from a battle for space to a battle for respect. Ryland's cold promise lingered in the void, a line drawn in the stars. The Zelnari flagship drifted crippled, its systems flickering like dying stars. Around it, the once proud alien fleet recoiled, fractured by the Resolute's ruthless assault. Counselor Verek's many eyes glistened with exhaustion and something new: fear. They are not merely warriors. They are predators. The Deathworlds, a curse etched into their very souls. Jathar slammed a crystalline fist against her throne. "We are the architects of this galaxy's order. They are but a primitive contagion, an aberration. We will purge them." Vrek shook his head slowly. "The galaxy is changing. The old accords, the old certainties, they no longer bind. We must find a new way or be swept away." Aboard the Resolute, Commander Ryland paced the command deck. The silence was deceptive. Every sensor ping held secrets, every shadow potential betrayal. Lieutenant Maris reported, "Our cloaking tech remains stable, but the nanowire clouds are being countered by adaptive shielding. They learn fast." Dr. Anaya Patel leaned over. The console, fingers tracing star maps. "Their tech has evolved since our last encounter. Quantum shielding, bioengineered countermeasures. It's a dance of survival and innovation." Ryland's eyes hardened. "Good, because so have we." She turned to her tactical officers. "We're not here to negotiate peace. We're here to reclaim what was denied. Prepare for the next strike." Back, in the Zelnari Council chamber, dissent stirred beneath the surface. "You speak of survival," hissed Jathar. "But what of honor? What of the pact that bound us?" Vrek's voice softened. "Honor means nothing if we are extinct. Mercy after dominance is the new truth." A murmur of agreement spread, but the fractures in their unity deepened. The Resolute surged forward through space, silent as a spectre. Ryland's voice echoed through the crew, cold and unwavering. "First contact was denied, but we will be heard, by force if necessary." The warship unleashed a new weapon, a pulse of nanoclouds engineered to infiltrate and disrupt alien neural processes, turning their own tactics against them. The Zelnari fleets faltered, their commanders' minds scrambling through fogged neural pathways. Vrek whispered. "The Death Worlders do not fight fair. They bring chaos to order." Jathar growled. "Then let us show them the true meaning of order." The galaxy was poised on a knife's edge. Humanity's reckoning was only beginning. The USS Resolute slipped through the fractured remnants of the Zelnari defensive perimeter like a blade through silk. Its engines whispered against the void, cloaking active as it carved a silent path toward the heart of the alien command cluster. Commander Elise Ryland stood before the panoramic viewport, eyes fixed on the shimmering cluster of enemy ships, the nerve center of the alien fleet's coordination. Every moment they hesitated was another moment lost. Lieutenant Maris approached, voice taut but controlled. "Commander, our nanowire mines have compromised at least 60% of their fleet's systems, but their countermeasures are adapting rapidly. Their neural disruption fields are becoming resistant." Ryland's jaw clenched. "Good. That means we're pushing them beyond their limits. Prepare the gravitic pulse emitters for maximum output. We hit their command hub next. Decapitate the beast." Inside the Zelnari flagship, chaos reigned. The crystalline hull hummed with cascading system failures. Counselor Varek's many eyes darted across the battle map, the first signs of panic threading his voice. "They have breached the outer defenses. The humans seek our core." Counselor Jathar's tone was sharpened by desperation. "Then let the core burn. We will not be taken alive." Around them, a chorus of alarms screamed. Alien crews scrambled to repair systems that blinked out in cascading failure. The once mighty network of communication and control was fraying. Back aboard the Resolute, Dr. Anaya Patel monitored alien system feedback in real time. "Commander, their quantum shielding is weakening under our sustained gravitic pulses. The disruption of their neural nets is causing widespread confusion. If we sustain this pressure, we can collapse their command structure entirely." Ryland's eyes flickered with grim resolve. "Then we have no choice. Initiate final phase. Deploy the quantum entanglement disruptors. Let's end this." The warship exhaled a pulse of energy that rippled across the void, a wave of silent destruction that struck the alien command cluster with surgical precision. Systems cascaded offline. Ships blinked out of existence as power cores failed. The alien flagship lurched, its energy signature dimming rapidly. In the council chamber, Varek's voice broke through the chaos. "We face extinction. Our fleet is unraveling." Jathar's defiance cracked. "No, we will fight to the last breath." But even she knew the tide was turning. On the Resolute, Ryland's voice was steady, but cold as ice. First contact was denied. Now it is enforced. The alien war had begun, not with diplomacy, but with a warship that refused to be ignored. The crippled alien flagship drifted in the void, its crystalline hull scarred and fractured like shattered glass. Inside, the Zelnari Council convened. In somber silence, their once proud voices now whispers, trembling with dread. Counselor Varek's eyes, dimmed but sharp, pierced the holographic starscape before them. "We fought for peace, for order, yet our arrogance blinded us. We denied their existence, ignored the truth of their ferocity." Jathar, broken but unyielding, spat. "They shattered our defenses, our accords, but what of the betrayals? We endured. We too have scars, old wars forgotten by those who now judge us." A junior counselor shivered. "They fight like death incarnate. Why such merciless wrath?" Varek's voice held the weight of 1,000 histories. "Because humanity was betrayed by the galaxy itself. The betrayal forged their wrath. This war is their reckoning." On the bridge of the USS Resolute, Commander Ryland's gaze was distant as she surveyed the battered enemy fleet. The cost of victory weighed heavy, but her resolve burned hotter. Lieutenant Maris broke the silence. "Commander, we've disabled over 70% of their offensive capabilities. The surviving ships are retreating, but their morale is fractured." Ryland nodded slowly. Let them retreat. This is not a war of annihilation. It is a message. We fight to reclaim our place, not to extinguish entire civilizations. Dr. Anaya Patel approached, voice tinged with exhaustion. Our nanotech disrupted their neural links, but there's something else, something primal driving them. Fear and a need to survive. Ryland's eyes narrowed. Fear can be harnessed or shattered. Back in the alien council chamber, debates flared. Some whispered surrender, others demanded vengeance. The fractures ran deeper than just battle wounds. Vrek's final words echoed, "We must seek a new accord, one born from respect, not denial." As the Resolute slipped back into the void, a single transmission echoed through space, a chilling human promise. Contact was denied, but humanity never forgets. The battered remnants of the Zelnari fleet limped through the black, distant stars, casting cold light over broken ships and shattered pride. Councillor Varek stood before the fractured hologram of their once mighty armada. His many eyes, heavy with exhaustion and regret. "We were blinded by our hubris," he murmured. "We denied humanity's right to exist among the stars, and they reminded us, through fire and steel, why denial breeds only ashes." Across the council chamber, Jathar's voice was cold and bitter. "They shattered our codes, our ancient oaths. Trust is a fragile thing, broken in an instant by those who refuse mercy." A junior councillor whispered, "What now? How do we survive a species that fights with such relentless fury?" Vrek's gaze hardened. "We learn. We adapt. We seek parley on new terms, not as masters and slaves, but as wary equals." In the USS Resolute, Commander Ryland surveyed her crew. The faces around her showed fatigue, but also a hard-earned pride. Lieutenant Maris reported, "Scans show the enemy retreating beyond known space. Their command grid is fractured, but pockets of resistance remain." Ryland's voice was steady, yet carried an edge. "This war was never meant to be endless. We demanded respect. Now it's time to decide what comes next." Dr. Anaya Patel approached, eyes flickering with hope. "Their tech evolves rapidly, but their fear is palpable. There is a chance for something new." Ryland nodded. "Good. We hold the line, but we remain vigilant. The galaxy has changed. Forever." Back on the Zelnari homeworld, whispers of rebellion stirred among the council. The old guard clung to the past. The new urged cautious cooperation. Vrek's closing words echoed through the chamber, heavy with resolve. "First, contact was denied, but now it cannot be undone." The void between star systems held an eerie quiet as the USS Resolute drifted in orbit around a shattered asteroid, the makeshift rendezvous point for an unprecedented meeting. The human warship's sensors flickered, scanning for hidden threats. In the dark, Commander Elise Ryland stood rigid in the briefing room, her mind a storm of calculation and wariness. Across the table, Dr. Anaya Patel laid out communications protocols, delicate and precise. First contact without annihilation, a fragile thread in a web of uncertainty. Lieutenant Maris glanced nervously toward the viewport. "No sign of their envoys yet. They've never trusted talks after battle." Ryland's voice was calm but resolute. "Neither have we. But if there's a chance to end this without further bloodshed, we take it." In the depths of Zelnari space, Counselor Varek prepared for his own departure, his countless eyes dim but resolute. The scars of recent battle etched deeply in his crystalline skin, yet beneath lay an ember of hope. "We must speak with the humans, not as enemies, but as survivors," he told the younger counselors. "The galaxy is vast, and neither species will survive alone." Jathar's glare was ice. "Trust is a fragile flame. One spark can ignite peace or inferno." Vrek nodded. "Better to risk flame than eternal darkness." The first transmission crackled across the void, a delicate thread woven between two worlds. The alien envoy's voice was cautious, reverberating with ancient echoes. "We accept your invitation. Let words be our weapons today." Ryland's eyes narrowed. "Then let us write the first true chapter of this war." As the human and alien delegations prepared to meet in the cold silence of space, every glance, every breath was charged with suspicion and hope. The warship that forced first contact now waited to see if it could forge peace or shatter the fragile remnants of trust forever. The diplomatic vessel, a fragile craft forged from ancient Zelnari crystal and human alloy, hovered silently. In the void between their two worlds, inside the neutral chamber, light shimmered off the crystalline walls, casting fractured rainbows over the tense faces of alien and human delegates alike. Commander Elise Ryland stood at the center, her stance firm but wary. Opposite her, Counselor Verex's multifaceted eyes reflected years of war and wisdom, shadowed by recent defeats. "The galaxy has long ignored humanity," Verek began, voice measured. "But your arrival shattered more than our fleets. It shattered our illusions." Ryland's gaze didn't waver. "We were denied first contact, left to carve a place through survival and fire. Now we demand acknowledgement." Dr. Anaya Patel stepped forward, her voice calm. "Your technology and culture are impressive, but what drives your relentless aggression?" Verek's eyes softened. "Fear and betrayal. We believed ourselves the stewards of order. Your unexpected wrath showed us the fragility beneath." Lieutenant Maris, fingers clenched at her side, whispered, "They've suffered, like we have." The silence hung heavy before Ryland finally spoke. "Peace is possible, but it must be built on truth, not denial or dominance." Vrek nodded slowly. "Agreed, but trust will be the hardest frontier." As both sides grappled with their ghosts, the fragile seed of understanding took root, an ember glowing faintly beneath the silent stars. The fragile vessel, cradled between two stars, held its breath as humans and Zelnari wove tentative threads of dialogue. Each word, each pause was a minefield of unspoken histories and bitter scars. Commander Ryland's voice was steady, layered with unyielding steel. "We fought not to destroy, but to be heard, to reclaim what was denied us, the right to exist, to be recognized." Counselor Verek's multifaceted eyes mirrored the weight of millennia. "And we, guardians of the old galaxy, must learn that strength alone cannot bind peace. We failed to see your truth, In the human delegation, Dr. Anaya Patel presented evidence of shared vulnerabilities, nanotech breakdowns, EMP feedback loops, and genetic markers hinting at parallel evolutionary paths. "Our differences are deep, but our survival depends on cooperation." Lieutenant Maris's hand hovered near her sidearm, a reminder that trust was earned, not given. "We extend this olive branch cautiously." Vrek extended one crystalline limb in a gesture of truce. "Then let this accord be the beginning, frail, yes, but forged from the fires of battle and tempered by the hope of peace." Ryland met the gesture, her fingers steady as they grasped his. First contact was denied, but now it is mutual. Humanity will not forget, nor forgive easily, but today we choose to build. Beyond the fragile peace, shadows stirred. Not all in. Either fleet welcomed the new path. The war had unearthed something darker, ancient fears and ambitions that neither side could yet see. The galaxy's tapestry was being rewoven, and the fragile accord was but the first stitch, the fragile peace held by a thread. In the cold expanse, whispers of dissent stirred like dark currents beneath a placid sea. On both sides, factions sharpened knives cloaked in smiles. Commander Elise Ryland sensed the shift. On the USS Resolute, reports came in. Sabotage attempts, intercepted comms. hinting at secret militias rallying beneath the banner of old hatred. Lieutenant Maris voiced the growing concern. "Commander, not everyone accepts this accord. Some view it as weakness." Ryland's eyes burned. "Strength isn't just firepower, it's knowing when to hold and when to bend. We will not let shadows undo what was hard won." Across Zelnari space, Councillor Vrek confronted his own council. Jathar's eyes blazed with fury. "They came like gods, shattered our pride, and now they want us to kneel? I say no. We reclaim what was lost by any means." Vrek's voice was iron. "You speak of rebellion, but such flames will consume us all. We must choose survival over vengeance." A storm brewed within the council chambers, threatening to tear apart the fragile peace before it could root. Back aboard the Resolute, Dr. Anaya Patel monitored neural scans showing heightened aggression among both species populations. The war's scars run deep. Trauma festers beneath the surface. Ryland clenched her fists. "Then we fight not only enemies, but our own fears." In the dark void between stars, a new battle brewed, not of weapons, but of wills. The fragile accord was breaking, and the true test of humanity's promise was yet to come. The void was no longer silent. Fleets gathered once more, but this time not for total war. Yet, the USS Resolute floated amidst the fractured remnants of a galaxy reborn, its hull gleaming with scars and purpose. Commander Elise Ryland stood on the bridge, voice steady as. The last transmission crackled through the comms. First contact was denied, until a human warship forced it. Now, the galaxy will remember. Lieutenant Maris monitored sensor arrays, detecting tentative movements among the remaining Zelnari ships. They're holding position. No aggression. Yet. Dr. Anaya Patel's voice trembled with cautious hope. Perhaps the first true step toward peace. Across the dark expanse, Councillor Vrek addressed his fractured council. Many wounds still raw, but minds slowly opening. "We were wrong to deny humanity, wrong to dismiss their fire. We see now they are neither savages nor gods, but survivors, who demand their place." Jathar's glare softened. "The galaxy has changed. We must change with it or be left behind." The Resolute pulsed with quiet power, a beacon of humanity's unyielding will. The warship that shattered silence had rewritten the rules. As stars wheeled overhead, the fragile promise of a new era shimmered in the darkness. Elise Ryland's voice was low, a vow and a warning. "We were denied once, never again." The galaxy held its breath.